Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Red Check. My name is Ashlee. I'm here today with Francisco. Francisco, how are you doing today?
I am just okay, I guess. Even though we lost yesterday, I'm okay. It's a beautiful day today. It's like 70 degrees here in the Delaware Valley. I'm upset we lost, but you got to take the positives in life, Ashley.
I wish I could say the same. It's kind of quiet here in wonderful Tuscaloosa. We're
That's
expecting
a
some
flex. Nice
storms.
flex.
I had a little bit of a better weekend. My good old Alabama Crimson Tide won, beat the heck out of Tennessee. We love that. Kind of sad about the Eagles. That was kind of disrespectful. That was not a great way to end my weekend. But we are here to talk about the Eagles, specifically DeVonta Smith and Jalen Hurts. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So it's been 2 months. We have seen a lot out of Jalen. We've seen a little bit out of DeVonta. Quite frankly, not enough that we would want to see out of him being our top receiver. So, Francisco, I want to pick your brain. Who do you think is hindering DeVonta Smith more? Is it head coach Nick Sirianni or is it his former Alabama teammate Jalen Hurts?
Oh boy, it's Ashley, it's a really tough answer. I don't think if you're someone that's going to side with Sirianni, if you're going to someone that sides with Hurts, you can see both sides, right? You can see both sides because I do think it is a combination of both. But at the end of the day, I don't think Jalen Hurts' skill set is good in the long run for him and DeVonta. I really don't think it is. Hurts doesn't have the arm strength, the accuracy. Yes, I do think to a certain extent, he could be going, down the line. I think he'll end up being a backup quarterback in this league. That's why I really think he's going to be. He's going to be a good backup. But, let's let the year play out, I guess. But I'd have to say Hurts.
Interesting. So I think it's a combination of both. I really do think it's a combination of both. Sirianni's play calling has been, we talked about it, suboptimal, absolutely garbage, terrible,
horrendous,
0 out of 10,
horrendous,
0 out of 10. Every terrible adjective, noun, anything that you can adverb, that you can put towards Sirianni's play calling, put it there because it's been absolutely horrendous. And this man is making me look bad because I hyped up this man's offense before the season.
Go
and he's
off,
making me
Ashley.
look like
We don't want to
idiot.
hold back. Go off. This team is 2-5. Let's see.
It's so
go
bad.
Off. Go ahead.
It's making me look so bad, like I don't know anything about football. When clearly it's Nick Sirianni who doesn't know crap about football. It's terrible, but it's absolutely terrible, and it makes me so upset because he can really help Jalen Hurts create that connection with DeVonta. I mean, it was already kind of going to be hard for them to kind of build that chemistry because you see it with a lot of players. You're seeing it with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, who already had that really good, strong chemistry.
Jamar Chase, it's unbelievable. That one catch he had yesterday where he spun off the defender. I know we don't got a lot of time to talk about that. Unreal, but anyway, go ahead.
Broke 3 tackles, absolutely fabulous. But that is based off of the run that they had together back in LSU during 2019. That magical Cinderella run where they went undefeated, beat top-ranked Alabama in Tuscaloosa the first time, and I can't remember how many years they did that. Trump was there. The whole 9 works was there. It was chaotic. but they had that kind of bond in college, and although Jamar Chase decided to opt out from 2020, he went back to a quarterback that he was already comfortable with. DeVonta never really had that with Jalen.
They had that, like you said before. You've told me that they had that they had that not the on the field chemistry because they didn't play a lot together, but they had that relationship off the field, which is important, which people forget. But Joe Burrow, different skill set over there in Cincinnati is different. Joe Burrow is looking like he's going to be a top 5.
It's a very different skill set, but but with DeVonta can be good in the short game too. He can be good in screens. He can be good at like the short passing game. I mean, he's good everywhere. If you want to put him in the slot and have him be that person that goes to like the 10 yards and he can get yards after catch. Jalen Hurts' skill set is very specific. I mean, I talked about it beforehand, but at the end of the day, you're the coach for the reason. You are the wide receiver guru for a reason. You have to you have to make sure that you scheme to the strengths of your players and to your quarterback, quite honestly, because you've been working with him since you got hired here. I mean, like 2 weeks after you got hired, Carson Wentz was in Indianapolis, and Jalen Hurts has been your guy since day one. You have to figure out what in Jalen Hurts' skill set as Nick Sirianni.
So
is
like
going to
actually,
be
I
helpful
totally
for
like
DeVonta,
yeah.
and then for Devon. 1 second, and then for Devon,
No,
and then for Jalen, you have to execute. Like Nick Sirianni can't do all this work and figuring out what you got to do to get the ball to DeVonta. If you're gonna sit there in the pocket and if DeVonta's not your first read, you're gonna run around the pocket until you get sacked. You know, it takes two to tango, and it takes two to get DeVonta the ball. It takes Nick Sirianni to actually game plan properly, and it takes Jalen Hurts to properly execute the game plan, because you can't be sitting there in the pocket forever, dancing around, and just because your first read is not available, don't mean your second read ain't gonna be good enough. Don't mean your third read gonna be good enough. It's called a progression for a reason.
And we haven't seen the progression.
It's hand in hand.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen the progression on the field when he's going through the plays, and then during games. Like, it's bad all around. And so Sirianni and Hurts need to sit down and be like, okay, what can we do to get the ball to DeVonta? Because you've seen just how. Go ahead. Go.
No. So I do agree with you to a certain extent. My whole thing is like DeVonta Smith, we drafted him, right? He was a top 10 pick. He's never going to reach his full potential with Jalen Hurts as the quarterback. I'm sorry. The arm strength, the accuracy, he's never going to reach that full potential. Yeah, he might be a good, solid receiver, but he's never going to be that elite receiver that we would want him to be. Even if Sirianni wasn't the head coach. I'm sorry. And Sirianni sucks. He's been terrible so far. But even if he wasn't the head coach and we had Belichick or anybody else that's an elite coach in this league, it wouldn't matter. I'm sorry. Jalen Hurts just doesn't have the skill set. Until he shows me that, I don't believe that. That's where I'm at.
My argument is not that Jalen Hurts is going to be the guy to give DeVonta an elite season, a elite career. My focus right now is on this season and right now for the rest of the season until otherwise. Jalen Hurts is your quarterback, so you got to figure out what in his skill set. It may just be like the little quick, short, and immediate passes. I mean, the last quarterback that was here was very good in the 10 to 20 intermediate range, and look where it got him. It almost got 33 touchdowns in 2017. Like, really, you can really figure out, like, Jalen's actually pretty decent in the intermediate game. You can use that to your advantage to get DeVonta open and get more yards after catch, kind of like how he did it with Michael Pittman and Keenan Allen in Indianapolis. You can do that here with Jalen. The thing is,
but we don't have we don't have that talent there, do we? Would you say there are more talented receivers over there in Indy? Or no?
I mean, obviously, there's a little bit more. There's a talent disparity between the Eagles and the Colts. That's obvious. Doesn't mean that you can't scheme as the wide receiver guru.
Right, but it's a young roster, though. It's a young roster. It's different.
I'm not saying that it's not different. I'm just saying you got to cater to your team. And if you know that you have someone that's extremely talented in DeVonta Smith on your team, and you can't figure out as the wide receiver guru how to get him to open and how to get Hurts to get the ball to him, and then ensuring that Hurts can get that ball to him, what the heck are you doing in practice then? What's the point? I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is the long-term solution. I'm saying that for this season, Jalen and Nick need to get together and figure out how to make DeVonta and this offense successful. That's all I'm saying.
So let's talk about Jalen, because sorry, not to cut you off, but let's talk about Jalen, because look, let's get off DeVonta. Let's talk about Jalen. He, to this point in the season, if we're just looking at numbers wise, his numbers are okay. He's just been super inconsistent to me. I don't know if he's going to be the quarterback next year. At what point are we talking about what draft picks we're looking at and who are we drafting a quarterback? That's my thing. At some point, I feel like we're already hearing the whispers and people are talking about. I really wanted to get into it, but we can save it. The whole garbage time thing, and Hurts is better in garbage time, blah blah. Which anybody is better in garbage time. But At what point are we talking about Hurts isn't the guy? Are we really like slamming it in there?
I just want to say that I love being right. I just love being right. And when the whole Wentz versus Jalen Hurts debacle was going on, whether we're going to keep Carson and trade Hurts, whether we're going to trade Wentz and keep Hurts, I remember saying to a lot of people on social media, I don't think Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback. I just don't think 4 games in one of the worst seasons in Eagles history is enough for me to sit here and say, yeah, let's get rid of Carson. Quite frankly, Carson was already 1 foot out of the door with how his relationship with Howie and Jeffrey Lurie was, and the relationship with the Philadelphia fans were. He was already out the door. That's fine. But had his relationship not already been tarnished at that point, there was really nothing to support Jalen being the starter out of teams. And his only win in those 4 starts was against a Taysom Hill-led New Orleans Saints.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
There was not enough. There was not enough. And I just want to revel in me. I just want to revel in me being right, because you're seeing it right now. You're seeing the same problems that we saw last year with Carson Wentz. Different head coach, different offensive coordinator, different QB coach, literally a whole different offense outside of Jeff Stoutland, who I don't know how much money they paid him in Philadelphia to keep him in Philadelphia and not come to Alabama, but holy crap, he must love the Eagles if he stayed there in that train wreck. It's a new offense, but the same problems are still happening.
My whole thing, Ashlee.
It was never. Go ahead. It was never just Jalen. It was never just Carson. This team is bad all around.
And we said was
never good.
I said this last episode though. Wentz is a different talent. Different talent. Hurts doesn't have that talent than Carson has. The arm strength, all of that we saw in his MVP season. Jalen doesn't have that in him. So all this talk about
you can argue that you can both argue that Wentz and Hurts do struggle with accuracy, and there are stats to prove that both of them struggle with accuracy.
Wentz is playing fine in Indianapolis since week 4. He has the best quarterback rating since week 4. At what point? At what point are we talking about Gardner Minshew, Joe Flacco? Are we calling for one of them until we draft a quarterback?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, that's no, because they're both worse than Hurts. What the heck?
Yeah, I know. I 100% agree with you. I think you got to ride out the year with Hurts.
Absolutely.
Unless he's playing so unbelievably bad where it's like bench him. You got to see what you have with Hurts the entire year until you're riding with him the entire year.
Like I said a few episodes ago, we gave Carson an entire year. We got to give Hurts an entire year. I mean, it's bad,
It's just listen. It's just last year.
I get the desire to want to have. I get the desire to want to have Flacco be good, to have Gardner be good, because you want to have something come out of this season. You want something good to come out of the season. But you saw it in preseason how bad he was, and that's going against teams 2s. Imagine him going against teams 1s. It's going to be bad. You're just better off riding off, just dealing with Hurts for the rest of the season. I mean, if he looks that bad, I don't know. I guess for me, I cover college football, and I know the quarterback class that is coming up, and it's not the greatest at all. I mean, the best draft to try to go get a quarterback was last draft, and we didn't do that. We got to ride receiver.
Yeah, because you had to take a chance with Hurts this year. You had to. It was at that point.
You had to take a chance with Hurts. That's all it was. But the quarterback, I mean, the top quarterback in this upcoming draft is Matt Corral. And quite frankly, I just don't. I don't think Nick Sirianni, if Nick Sirianni is still head coach and you ship off Jalen Hurts and you add Matt Corral, I don't think Matt Corral gonna be successful here. It's a tough situation to be in because we were led to believe that Jalen Hurts was going to be the future, and that how he found a diamond in the rough and hit a home run in the second round. When, quite honestly, he really didn't, and he was just trying to cover up the fact that he just hated Carson Wentz, and he just wanted to get a new quarterback. But it's bad all around. But yeah, any more thoughts, my guy, on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to close out by saying I think at this point it's pretty obvious that Hurts is probably just going to be a career backup. We're going to be drafting a quarterback next year. I don't care what you say about the quarterback class. I mean, sometimes the classes are supposed to be really good and the guys aren't that good, blah, blah, blah. And then sometimes the classes aren't that good and they end up being good quarterbacks. So go draft the quarterback. I think you do ride out the year with Hurts. But get DeVonta Smith a better quarterback because I want to see him be a top 10, top 5 receiver in the league. That's how I feel.
We sent the better quarterback to Indianapolis. Okay.
Is that closing it out? No.
That's how we're gonna close it out.
No, the run check. No. It's spooky season. It's Halloween in less than a week. I see what you did there, Ashlee.
I got to end it on a speaking note. We did send the better quarterback to Indianapolis. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the rent check for this week. I'm Ashlee Woods. That's Francisco Rojas, and we'll catch you next time.
Brought to you by Liquid Death. Murder your thirst today with a cold, refreshing can of Liquid Death.